Welcome to another episode of the Choralist Conversations. Today I'm having, the brains behind the Choral Mag, a visionary conductor. I'm not sure what else this guy does. Sydney, welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much, Stu, and greetings to all the viewers at home. Thank you for having me, my brother.
You are welcome. You are welcome. This guy did something in 2015 with his team. They decided that in their first printed magazine of the Choral Mag, I was going to be the cover. I didn't bother asking. I just had to bask on the moment. Maybe you can tell us, why did you decide on that?
First of all, Stu, I'm a great admirer of your music as a composer.
Thanks. Man.
Yeah, and I think it was just after the Madiba, the African opera.
Yes, in 2014.
So around that time, Sibusiso Njeza was on top of his game, so it was the right time to have you as a cover of the magazine. There was no one actually who could think of around that time. But you actually deserved to be the first cover guy of the Choral Mag magazine.
Oh man, yeah. where are the trumpets and whatever? Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. That was a beautiful gesture, really. Even though in Bloemfontein that year, I got lost. I was supposed to drive to where you had the launch.
Oh yeah,
because I was supposed to speak there.
Yes.
I got lost and it really threw me off. For hours I was going round and round Bloemfontein. And that's when I decided I would never go stay in Bloemfontein because it felt so unfriendly.
It's a nice time.
But on that same year, and in fact on that day, the Choral Mag was launched.
Yes.
And I know you've just celebrated 5 years. When was it?
It was in 2020 actually.
2020,
yes.
yes.
It was 7 years this year in December.
Wow. Maybe let's take it back, because I know you are also passionate about African music, not just my music. I know for a fact that you are passionate about African music. You are passionate about development. You are also a conductor. Besides, the Choral Mag, you were behind the streaming in the National Choir Festival. Where does that passion come from? Where did it all start?
I would say I was born with music in my head, and actually when I was 12 years old in my village Masetlhe, just outside Mafikeng, I used to play alone a lot. So one day, I think it was around in 1996, a brother of mine, Professor Masetlhe, called me, and during the day, it was around just afternoon, he called me and said, "Hey, come, let me teach you how to play a trumpet." He was very, very good. He's a brilliant trumpet player. So he called me and taught me same day. And then he taught me how to read music that day, how to read notes, but it was tonic solfa. So from that day going forward, I never looked back. So went to school, completed my high school, and then was given a chance by my high school conductor. He used to leave me with the choir and allow me to conduct the choir, stand in front of the choir, teach them music. So I also empowered myself as well with music theory, learning music theory and all that. So fast forward, Northwest University, I was doing sciences and animal health and also it wasn't something that I wanted to do. I was very good with biology in school. So it was an obvious choice that I have to focus on my own biology and stuff. So I went to university, enrolled for that at the Northwest University, joined the choir, conducted by a great guy, Tsime Gapule. And then after that, I met Bafana Kunene, who also gave me an opportunity to express myself. I was very tiny and I just loved music. So, Bafana introduced me to Michael Dingan. And then I worked with the guys, with those guys ever since. So from that day, from those years, the seed started growing and growing and growing. And I decided to say, you know what, music is what I have to do. So I decided not to stop with the music. I ended up conducting the Northwest University Choir.
Yes, I know.
I even took them to the nationals, NCF nationals in 2007. We're competing against Bel Canto singers, Copano Chorus, those years. So in 2005, we went to Germany with the choir, with the Northwest University Choir, to perform that site in an international competition. So our choir was the best choir of the event. So a miracle happened there. I saw myself for the first time in a magazine and newspapers in Germany. I was like, you know, I've never seen this in South Africa. I'm a celebrity. Oh, choir, we are celebrities. So I then thought, we need something like this in South Africa. Yes, I love music so much, but our stories have to be told by us in South Africa. So that's when I came back with the university choir in 2005. Choral Mag actually was conceived in 2005. Oh, and then came to life in 2015.
In 2015,
so
10 years
took
later.
10 years of preparation. So what was happening during that 10 years preparation period? Left Northwest, came to Gauteng, and then got my first job here. A brother of mine hooked me up with a job this side, a call center job. And I thought, this is not my thing. I still want to start a magazine one day of choral music. So I have experience in choral music now. I've been with the choir. I've taken the choir to the NCF finals. I've been abroad. And then I started thinking, you know what, it's high time now that I learn media. So I empowered myself with media marketing. I worked for major advertising agencies in South Africa. I worked in the media space. I worked for magazines during the 10 years I'm talking about. The 5 years, worked in magazines, worked for media companies in Randburg. So basically during those years, I was absorbing everything. How to structure a magazine, how to write, who to call, how to write an article. The team needed to put together a magazine. So combined my music experience with the media experience. Yeah. And then in 2015, I took a decision to say, you know what, I'm ready. I think I'm ready. And then I resigned. That's when I put together a team, took all my savings, for the 10 years I worked, took all my savings, invested in Choral Mag. So that's when the magazine started. Yes.
We're going to come back to this. Yeah. You know, I'm still stuck a little bit from the very first time you were discovered by your school choir conductor.
Yes.
Where you started standing in front of the choir. Mm-hmm. What did he see in you? Because I know there are so many kids, you know, whose dreams are born at that moment, but something deters them from, you know, taking that far. You see, same with me. I was discovered like that. So what did he see in you? And is there anything that he said specifically to you? Because those are the people who really, really plant the seed, you know, and actually give it an opportunity to grow. You know, the teachers. We saw them when we attended Saske, what they can do with the voices. So what did he say to you, or she say?
Mr. Mapangele, great guy. Actually, I think it's God. I'm a very inquisitive person. So whenever he introduced the song, I'll go after the rehearsal to say, hey, Menier, this song is very nice. Can you try it this way? So I'm a very inquisitive person. What is the song about? I used to ask a lot of questions, and I could read notes already. Yes. Yeah, I could read tonic solfa during my matric year. So one day, I think there was a school meeting and we were preparing for the competition, the school competitions. And it was like, we cannot go without a rehearsal because the competitions are close. And then Sydney, can you help me with the choir? And to my surprise, the choristers responded positively. They respected me from the beginning of the rehearsal until the end. So I don't know what that guy saw in me, Bue. I think it's God.
No, I wanted to talk about it because it's still happening even today, you know, with choir conductors and their learners in the choirs. Just to highlight it so that when it happens, people can be aware that this is where, you know, great ideas like the Choral Mag. I mean, we don't have a magazine like that, more especially that focuses on community choirs from our townships, you know, that profiles ordinary people like me and other people who were profiled in the magazine. Now let's come back to the magazine. Besides being impressed by seeing yourself in a magazine in Germany, what was the bigger vision, of Choral Mag as a magazine in South Africa in the context of the community choirs that you are profiling?
Yeah, I think, Sbu, that's a good question. We have a role to play as the media personnel or as the practitioners of choral music. So if, for instance, we don't tell our stories our own way or the way we know them, people will take advantage of us. Someone will come and say, can I write a South African story about South Africa, someone from outside South Africa, which has been happening a lot. So basically, Choral Mag's focus is on telling our stories our own way, and exposing the beauty of this art. We still have a long way to go, but we come from very, very far. We've got a very beautiful history as the choral industry, and we still have a bright future, I believe. So our focus is to expose the potential of this genre and to also educate. So the motto of Choral Mag is music, business, and lifestyle. The music side of it is telling the musical stories, exposing beautiful stories like yours, the Pretty Enders, the Michael Dingans, and everybody else we featured in the magazine, telling such beautiful stories. One day, your child or my child will be like, who's Sibusiso Njeza? And then we don't have that documented anywhere. So Choral Mag has to cover that. So the business side is to educate people as well. We had nice articles from Old Mutual, from businesses, basically corporates, writing and advising people on how to run choirs, how to invest in talent and all that. And then the lifestyle, we're focusing on teaching people how to maintain their bodies, how to maintain a healthy lifestyle and all that. So basically Choral Mag is I don't know how to call it. We want to cover and expose everything beautiful about our country. I still think our music, like your music, for instance, for it to be on the world standard, like your Mozart, they are long gone. Your Mozart, your Haydn, your Verdi. South Africans have to push that music. No one else can do it better than us in terms of understanding the language. No one else can do it better than us instead of understanding the composers and our culture. So basically, we are the people who can tell our stories better than anyone else.
Definitely. No, that's true. I mean, case in point is Solomon Linda's Mbube song, which was sung as Away My Way, Away My Way. What does that even mean? And the family not benefiting, from proceeds, from that music, because we are not telling our own stories.
Very sad.
The way we want to. So when you started Choral Mag, because I know for a fact it's one of the challenges that we're having in the choral space in South Africa. This thing of not being able to work with others in terms of sharing the vision. Mm-hmm. You start, there's 5 of you, but then at some point people are gone, or there's been challenges. So who did you start the magazine with? Yeah,
there's a friend of mine called Masetlhe, supported my vision from the beginning. He's still there, and there's a very great lady I've ever met, and she was my strength, and she still is my strength. Tato Mokete. Yeah. She approached me and said, you know what, Sydney, I saw you are going to launch a magazine, or you are planning to start a magazine. I want to be part of that, because I always wanted to write something about choral music. And I was like, you know what, Tato, I'm going to teach you everything that I know, and one day you're going to be an editor of Choral Mag. So there was an editor at the beginning. We hired someone who had experience with editing, but Tato absorbed every single thing she could from that lady, and she's been there. She's still there, and unfortunately, during the COVID, we could not afford to pay anyone and all that, and she had to do other things. But when times were tough for Choral Mag, she was there. She's still there, even today. So Tato Mokete is one of the people I started with, and there was a gentleman called Tulan Glovi as well. Yeah. Who was there at the beginning of Choral Mag. Unfortunately, in 2019, Yep, he left us. So basically, those are the people we started with. It was a team. It was a very small team. We used to outsource salespeople. I didn't have them. I didn't have permanent salespeople because it was very expensive to maintain. Yeah. So yeah, those are the people we started with. But at the moment, I'm still with Tato and Mangani is still there. But the ball has to continue rolling.
Of course, of course. So what are you guys doing now in terms of? But I think the last printed magazine was Pretty Enders.
Yes.
Or was it Michael Dingan?
It was. I think it was Michael Dingan's.
Yeah, it was Michael Dingan's. Yes. So are you planning on having another one?
With regards,
or maybe
to
you're changing with times now. We're going digital.
You know. Sometimes we always have to think ahead.
Yeah.
The world is taking a different direction. We can't be stuck in the past.
Definitely.
Print is very expensive to start with, and the digital world has made things very easier for us. So, regarding the magazine and articles and all that, we've been very hard at work trying to revive our website. The challenge has been we want to start a Choral Mag TV. Yeah, we've been actually past for the whole year last year. We've been recording. We've got content that we've been recording. So, sometimes YouTube does not belong to us. Facebook does not belong to us. And then sometimes they'll decide to close their businesses and all the material we've recorded will be lost.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
the website that we're trying to build basically should be able to accommodate the quality and the size of the videos that we've been recording. So we are taking the magazine to the digital world. We'll still get articles, written articles, but online. They are going to be on the website, and then all other stories we're still going to cover them through audio, visuals like videos and stuff like that. So I think what we are doing is great, and we've got to push this thing no matter what. Spoo. Our stories. I'm going back to our stories again. I've interviewed so far about 9 or 10 great musicians. We sat for 2, 3, 4 hours together and just discussed. Most of them are legends. We've forgotten about most of them, but they've got so much to share with the young ones. So I've also learned a lot. I also learned a lot through these interviews. So I think our institutions of higher learning will benefit from the content that we are creating. And because it's the future. So basically, going back to your questions, Choral Mag, at the moment, we are going to launch Choral Mag TV. We've been recording, even the other day when you called and I said, I'll only get back to you on Thursday and all that. I was busy recording somewhere. So basically, it's what we are doing right now. And then the other thing is to revive the magazine. Another guy yesterday was like, hey, Sydney, what happened to Choral Mag? Because other people loved the print. They loved the print. They loved the print. The guy I used to work with, the guy when we were doing the NCF production, the live streaming. Yeah. I would call him for commentary and all. He said, I'd like to write, man. He's now studying his PhD in music. I would like to write some articles on Choral Mag. I was like, no. Funny, we are busy with that, and I'm gonna quickly rope you in because we need academics as well to write stories so that our kids can learn from you guys. So yeah, basically that's what we are busy with. We've never stopped working. You know what happened? This is very funny. We are actually people like you and me. I don't want to call ourselves servants. We are slaves of this art form. I'll tell you why. It has taken us up and down. We've suffered so much, so it's difficult for us to just leave it.
No, we can't.
Yeah, so we can't So in 2019, my life turned around. Everything changed in my life, and at some point, you know, I used to work at NCF. I used to work at Melting Pot, Sasuke, like doing the live streaming and all that. But when that was taken away from me, I could not secure those deals. Like I was actually I had mild depression. Because I did not have ownership of my finances. I relied on NCF, I relied on Sasuke. When they said, no, we are not using you anymore. it became a very serious challenge to me. I remember driving to Swaziland, just to check if, hey man, like I'm not the one doing this thing. What's happening? So coming back from Swaziland, when I realized that this gig is no longer mine, the NCF gig is no longer mine, I sat down and thought, you know what, Sydney, it means your future is doomed, because those were bigger bags.
Bigger bags, yeah.
Yeah, they actually invested a lot in my business. They supported my business over there since 2015. So when that happened, I thought, do I still want to do this thing? And then I remembered, I've got a role to play as Sydney Masetlhe. I haven't completed my calling or whatever that God called me to do in this world for the choral music industry. So that's when I decided to say, you know what, instead of dying or allowing yourself to go through serious depression, you must take ownership of your work or your destiny. So I thought to myself, okay, when I started Choral Mag, how did I want to make money? And I thought, create articles, write stories, and then stories that will attract investors, stories that will make the magazine marketable or financed, basically. So I then thought, you know what, Sydney, this is the time for you to start creating content. Forget about the money. It's not there. It's not going to come. But basically, I don't work anywhere. I work at TUT as a choir conductor. I work at Choral Mag full time. So basically, I work in the choral music environment full time, 100%. I don't have a side hustle. This is not a hobby or something that I do when I don't have time to do, when I have spare time to do something. So I work full time in this since 2015. So I thought, you know what, the future of your children relies on your thoughts or the strength of your mind. So funny enough, it was around December, and then the following year, COVID hit us.
Sure.
Another thing. I know for a fact that I'm not going to work again.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what, Sydney, remember why did you start this? So I sat down. I taught myself a lot of things during lockdown. I taught myself how to edit videos, number one. I taught myself how to record using cameras and all that. And then I thought to myself, you know what, once this COVID thing leaves us, I'm going to work like a crazy man. The money will follow me. I should not chase money. Because you know what happened, Spusiso, or what's happening in this world? It's crazy. You are doing something great with the Choralist. I would want to compete with you instead of supporting what you're doing. And that's the problem with our society. The competition mentality has destroyed our society. So instead of promoting a great thing that we see can take us somewhere, we want to drag each other down. So I support the Choralist, and then someone would come and say, hey, Sydney, why are you doing this with
supporting
Unjeza?
your competitor?
It's crazy. And my thought is, we have soapies on TV. They play at 8 o'clock, all of them, like from 6:30 until 8:30 or 9 o'clock. Soapies in different channels. It's a genre on its own, right? And then we've got music channels on TV that plays hip-hop. Different music channels that play hip-hop. 8 or 10 of them. The more, the merrier. So we've got one channel for choral music and we think we can make an impact? No ways. So basically what I'm trying to say is the more we push is the more people are going to hear us or see us as a force to be reckoned with. So what happened in 2019, I think I shouldn't run away from that story.
No. I was waiting for you to go back to that story.
Yeah, what happened in 2019? You know, I had some disturbing comments, you know, but I don't dwell too much into negativity. I focus on positive stuff. So I would call company A or company B and say, guys, are we pushing this? And they'd be like, no, Choral Mag is no longer existing. I was like, what happened to it now? And I was like, okay, if Choral Mag does not exist anymore, what am I working for? Who am I working for? Who is this Choral Mag that I am claiming to be coming from? So I thought, you know what? Sometimes an idea, ideas are from God. Yeah, we can think We can think of making bread. We can have the same ingredients to make bread, but it's not going to come out the same way. It's not going to taste the same way. So ideas are from God. So God and our ancestors. So if they plant something, you know, Sibusiso, this is your destiny. This is your path. They've created it already, and they know you're going to face challenges. So if I come and say I'm starting my own Choralist plus and say Sibusiso is not a good guy or whatever, and I don't know who gave Sibusiso this idea. I don't know who's protecting Sibusiso's idea. And time will tell. Time will tell if I am the genuine one or Sibusiso is the genuine one. So time always has its own way of exposing things. So I lost those gigs. Like a lot of people I felt like a lot of people were angry at me for something I did not know exactly. And I thought, you know what, Sydney, just be positive. The thing is...
and hence they cut those deals.
Absolutely.
They were angry.
No. The anger was coming from how do you bring a proposal that we've already received? So you guys are unprofessional. We are distancing, we are distancing ourselves from you guys. And I was like, you know what, it's fine. Some of the things we can't give attention because I think we have a lot of things to discuss today. So, but that's exactly what happened in 2019. I lost serious gigs. But you know what? It's a competitive world. If you feel I'm doing something wrong and can do it better, go for it. But funny, it was exactly the same Choral Mag way of doing things. You know, we will do this before the event, during the event we'll do this, after the event we'll do this. You know what I'm proud of, Sibusiso? With the team I was working with, or the team at Choral Mag, we changed the game. We introduced the social media marketing thing at NCF, and then came streaming. We started streaming Saskia, and then we did those nice commentaries as well. You were part of it 100%. You supported them all the time. You were part of the panel all the time whenever we're in the Western Cape or in the finals. So we've changed the game. So whatever that we introduce and people start doing, we don't fight them. We actually like it when people do or spread the love or spread the weight. We enjoy it that way. But I cannot be Sibusiso.
Never.
I write music, but I cannot write as good as you write. So we must accept that we are given these things differently by God and our ancestors, and accept that this is Sibusiso's territory. I cannot play on Sibusiso's territory. I can support Sibusiso because it's for the greater cause. It's for choral music. One day we will make an impact that Amapiano is making. We will create millionaires from the choral music space if we can support each other, carry each other, instead of competing against each other. Because I think it's coming from the culture of competition, choir competitions, and then we bring it to businesses and all that. And unfortunately, Sibusiso, we've got kids. We have to feed our kids. And when it comes to Papa Yangwanaka, I become very, very protective. You know, I become very protective. So basically, fast forward, things started unfolding, the light started shining, and after COVID, when the lockdown was eased, I started recording, I started creating events, creating content, what Choral Mag is all about, creating content. And then other companies were interested in working with me. Well, they were interested in the idea. And I thought to myself, you know what, start slowly again, build up. Instead of relying on a competition organizer to call you, work so hard. Like instead of going to write proposals and all that, work so hard that nothing can happen without you.
Yeah, they have to have you in order for everything to happen.
Nothing can happen without you. So
like
basically
that.
that's the direction
like
I'm taking, Sbu. I'm turning 40 next year. So you are a year older than me. so we cannot hustle
there to
forever.
welcome you.
Yeah, we cannot hustle forever, Sbu. At some point we need to be comfortable. And the support that we need, or the support that can actually make us comfortable, is coming from our choral music people. Charity begins at home. We work for this art form. We've dedicated our lives, our sweat, our tears, our ideas, our time to this art form. And we are so jealous when we see genres like Abomapiano and taking
just
over,
came up now.
and creating millionaires, international exposure and all that. We want to see this choral music thing going somewhere.
Speaking of which, if you look at how the guys in that space of Amapiano, your Gqom and you know the pop stuff, you'll find that whenever they get interviewed, most of them would say, "Yo, you know, I was put up by Oskido, or I was helped by this." How far are we? Because I've heard a lot of guys, you know, young guys, like speaking about, you know, the legends. You spoke about the legends and what is it that they can still offer. People will be like, no man, they've run their course. They must now sit down. It's okay. It's our time. It's our time. Do we have, you know, the kind of vision, you know, in order for us to take the baton from these guys? So that's what the Mapiano people. You look at how many guys are being put up by even in terms of production. You look at the songs that, oh, Maporisa was here. You know, Kabza was here. Even though it's young guys, you know, how they get taken in backyard studios up to, you know, being like prominent. Yes. How do we get there? Are we there yet?
Yeah.
In terms of our thinking, in terms of what we're doing, in terms of skill. Are we there yet? Because we can't be dreaming about taking this thing international if we don't have the capability.
Yeah, you know what, Sbu? That's a very, very difficult question to answer. But you know what? We have lost our Africanism, you know, Ubuntu as people. So what you are saying is quite important. Important in the sense that we have legends. They have been there. They have paved the way for us. Indlela ibuza kubadala, I think I'm saying it right.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So we
learn from those.
Yeah,
who came before us.
we've got to learn from them, absorb everything, and then prepare ourselves to teach the ones that are coming from us, that are coming after us. So I think we lack that in our space, and we had great years in the choral music space. The years where you're pretty and years were blooming, starting to go into. A lot of people went abroad those years. We should have capitalized there, or ask the people who were working with those kids or those ladies and gentlemen the formula. We lost it there.
And they're still here.
Yes, they're still here. Absolutely, yes.
They're still here.
Yeah, we need to go back to the drawing board, Spoo. I think our genre can grow. It has proven itself over the years that we are able to produce international stars, not just singers, international stars. Our music, it's funny. I've performed a lot in international events, like abroad in Europe, and our music is something else. It's like it's heavenly. Everybody loves our music, and choirs like white choirs, for instance, they will never go abroad without singing South African traditional music.
Yeah.
Like your Xhosa songs, your Swana songs, Pedi songs, because that music is sellable.
Really marvelous.
And it's sellable.
Bongani Makajana is
Absolutely.
going around teaching that music.
And even the Lion King, it has this African feel about it, the music of the Lion King itself. So basically, greatest international productions have the African touch. So we cannot sit back and say, you know what, iyasihlula lento, yapala. The question that we just asked, we are not doing justice to this genre, and it will be very sad for it to die in our hands, because our forefathers, our choral music forefathers, and the great ones that are still living, will turn in their graves. Should we lose this? Should we lose this? So basically, what we need to do right now is to plug each other. If you know someone who's good at doing a certain thing, collaboration is very important. You said Amapiano guys like Abo Mapori, Ban, their legacy is growing by grooming the young ones. Their names will be on the
They're
history.
not losing
Yes, their names will be in the history books forever. The more your proteges or your mentees grow, you become a greater person as the mentor. So we fail to understand that. We even create, there's this animosity, like when I'm competing with your choir, for instance, my chorista should be enemies with your choir and all, and it's bad culture. It's bad culture.
It's very sad. Fortunately, you've competed in the international space now, and we started in 2018 with UWC Creative Arts Choir to be in that space, and I realized that, you know, this kind of animosity among choirs does not exist there. It really doesn't. What is it that we're doing wrong here at home? Because you're still competing. The competition is very tight there. You know, you want to be the best and beat the best choirs across the world, and be the best, like Stellenbosch University Choir is currently and number one choir. But there isn't this, you know, bad mouthing, you know, bad blood between choirs. Even those that have been there longer than us, what are we doing wrong, you know, within our space? Because we've got the greatest choirs.
Yeah.
I mean, we were at Rema listening to the school kids. I mean, they sound brilliant. And you ask yourself, why do we focus on these little things when there's that talent? What are we missing?
Yeah, you know, I think I should say it the way I feel.
Yes, please.
This thing of
Unfiltered.
hobby, choral music or singing is my hobby. It's destroying this whole thing. People don't take this as a professional art form. Yeah, they come and say, drink before performances, get drunk, and, you know, do funny things. And like we don't respect the craft. And for instance, I will go to work as an accountant, or as a lawyer, or any other profession, and then come back to choirs. And there are people who go to school to study music who are in the choir. And when I come there, I come with some vibe that I cannot take to my workplace, starting disrespecting the conductor and all that. So basically, we need to tighten such things. People should understand that this space is professional. Yes, it might be a hobby, but there are professionals who operate on this space full time. And then the animosity thing is coming from this thing of us as African putting competition before the craft. Yes, we are participating in a competition, but at the end of the day, it's music that has to win. So we are putting competition before the craft. If you could just turn things around a little bit, put music before competition, even if it's a competition, we'll leave all those auditoriums happy, all of us. Whether you win or not, you will understand that music is bigger than us. So we need to introduce this thing of teaching people about the profession itself, about the hard work that goes behind composition of music, and the vision of the composers was not to create music for competition or for choirs to go fight over it or whatever. But the more we sing it, whether it's competition or concert stage, it's fine. But we need to remember or bear in mind that this thing is greater than us. Music is greater than us. So let's push music before competition. This thing of competition goes very fast, boom. Of competing even way it's unnecessary. I will be scared to come ask for help from someone that I know knows this thing better than me. But because he's Busiso Njeza, I don't want to associate myself with Busiso Njeza because he's a friend to Lee, who's an enemy to me or whatever. No. So basically, I think Ubuntu, man, we should not forget, as Africans, Realm Africa, what were we taught growing up? Respect the person, the older person, treat everybody like your brother and sister. Even in school, one would get better grades than the next one. It's competition. But it's healthy. It's healthier than the competition that we find in the choral space. If I get lower grades in school, I know that I need to go back and work hard. I cannot hate on Sbu because it's an A student.
Because it hasn't. It has nothing to do with other person. It's about you.
Absolutely. If I don't read my books, Sbu will forever beat me. So we fail to understand that. We've been competing from a very young age, but it was very healthy because we knew what to do when we lose. Got to go back to your books, read some more, add extra hours, listen more in class, attend the classroom, which is attend rehearsals, and then go back to absolutely. So if we could bring back that culture, I think this thing of animosity. We are Africans. We are brothers and sisters. It's crazy how you'll hate on someone today and tomorrow you only have them as an option to help you.
Imagine.
And you can't go to them because you've created walls, you've built boundaries between you and the next person. I think this is the culture that we need to demolish as quick as possible. Let's put music first, and then everything else should come after music because we are performing the music. We are not performing the competition.
No, one of the greatest lessons I'm taking from everything that you're saying is that we need to realize that the space is wide enough. I think at some point we are using both eyes to look inside the bottle, and once you do that, you don't see anything inside the bottle. You have to close another one in order for you, like, to see through that hole. So we need to realize that if there's the Choralist and there's Choral Mag, we need more. It's not enough. Instead of you thinking that we are competing, think that we need more. Because even in sport, you can choose which channel to watch. The same game, not necessarily different games, but the same game can play on SABC or SuperSport.
Absolutely.
And you'll get different commentators. A story, you can listen to it in SABC, it will still be the same story, but delivered differently from ENCA or News Africa. So it's different. It's the same story delivered. And it actually reaches a wider audience because people prefer different things. I mean, we had Masetlhe as the only platform for many years. And we also had competitions as the only source to feed that very Masetlhe. Imagine 10 choirs singing the same song. So it means out of 10 choirs, you only got one song. One song. People don't come to our performances because we're singing the same thing over and over and over and over. So I'm taking that as a lesson, But now, winding down before I let you go, we've been out for 2 years. Sasuke was the first to rise from the ashes. I know there are other festivals that have been happening, including the work that you've been doing, but some of the prominent structures, provincial and national structures, are still struggling to come up. Going forward, what would you like to see? I mean, we've had 2 years. You've had 2 years to reinvent yourself. Same here. I didn't know how to do any of this before the lockdown, and I got to teach myself how to do this. So, what do you expect, or what would you suggest, to choirs, to conductors, to administrators, going forward?
Yeah, I think Spu, we need to be creative because we're in the creative space as choirs, conductors, and choristers. There's a lot that we can do outside competitions as a choir. We need to learn to run our choirs as businesses. Have a year plan, draw a yearly budget, and then an execution plan of that year plan. And we need to teach. We still need to teach a lot in this space, Spu. We need to teach people how to write proposals, how to market their choirs, and we also need to teach our conductors or choir managers how to run these institutions professionally. For instance, for an example, I have a TUT choir, but when it's slow, I have another choir which is Light of Hope choir. So I told them, whenever I conduct or start conducting a choir, I tell them that with you, this is what I want to achieve. Before achieving that, I can win competitions during whatever process of achieving my main goal, but I don't allow them to distract me from the main goal. So with TUT Choir, for instance, I conducted them since 2018. The ultimate thing was to start performing in theaters and creating productions of both choral and traditional music, telling South African stories through music in theater, like musicals. We did our first musical last year. We are doing another one this year. So we are a choral choir, but we are changing the status quo. And we want other choirs to emulate what we're doing or even do it better. We've got composers, so you write beautiful music. We've got a lot of composers as well who write traditional music. And then we've got, for instance, last year we were like this year we're gonna talk about gender-based violence. We've asked composers to write music that condemns gender-based violence. Yeah. So the story would be, it ends with our generation as young students today studying at TUT. So the story is, it ends with us. We are boys today, but we're not going to be men who abuse women tomorrow. So the music is very intense, the storyline, the poetry. So choirs should be creative, because there's a lot of songs to be sung in South Africa. And you can call Mr. Njez and say, hey, Ntate Njez, ke kopa dipina tse tharo tse 4 tse gago tse 5 ke etsa concert ya new music. And say, I've started that actually. As you said, Mr. Njez, our music is not sung sufficiently by our choirs. So I've approached some composers. I said to them, you know what, you've got 30 songs, but one song have been performed at NCF and that's it. I want to organize a choir. We're going to record your 30 songs, video and audio, and then that music, the music will be then. Most of them agreed because their music has to live beyond their existence. So choirs, choir conductors, choir managers, try to be creative and then knock on different doors. Ask for sponsorships to sustain your choirs. I mean, Choral Mag is there, the Choralist is there, and other platforms. We can help push your ideas.
Definitely.
We can assist.
Definitely.
We can push your ideas. Don't be scared to be creative. And then the other thing that we lack as conductors, Boo, the people we stand in front of can actually blow our minds. They've got brilliant ideas. Let's engage our choristers. For instance, in my other choir, I've got an accountant in the choir who sings tenor. I've got a nurse. I've got someone who does marketing professionally. So whenever we put together events, I call them. I know I've got a professional lawyer. I've got an accountant. They'll draw a budget a budget statement, or they'll also report to the sponsors accurately and properly. And I don't have to pay a lot of money for that. They are doing it for the choir. Even though we have to pay them, it's not going to be as much as you would pay when you consult him privately. So make use of the people in front of you.
They're also members of the choir.
Yes, the people in front of you are the people who will change your lives. Don't just ignore them. Remember that they support you. You look good as a conductor because of the sound they produce, because of the patience that you have. And so basically,
conductors must stop being the alpha and the omega of the whole thing.
Yeah,
they drive buses. They
hey, we do that.
Conductors do everything. You know, they're the treasurer, they're the conductor, they are the PRO, they are the and of course there are skills, you know, within the choirs, as you are correctly putting it. There are skills, even running social media. We may not be as good as, you know, the young ones in terms of you know, being on social media, creating these marketing videos on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Well, sometimes, in fact, in most cases, that's where the marketing happens now. It's in that digital space, of which some of us are not as present as the young ones are. Sydney, when you are gone, retired, you're a family man, you've got wife and kids, and so at some point I know you're going to sit and focus on your family. What would you want us to remember as your contribution in the genre?
In the genre. Oh, yeah. You know, Difficult question, man. It's a lot of things.
That which you are building now,
Yeah.
because you're
The thing
already
is,
doing it.
Yeah, when I leave this world, Spoo, I want to have fulfilled everything that God sent me to do first, which is changing the way the world views South African choral music. So I want to play my part, give it my energy, give it my time to make it a point that this genre at some point is going to be a force to be reckoned with. I want to be the guy who played part in making sure that our artists eat. I want to be remembered as the guy who was a servant or a slave of this choral music genre.
Wow, man, that's really profound, and I wish you everything of the best. I hope whatever you're working on as the Choral Mag and beyond that, the festivals, the recording, the content, we need all of that. And you know that whatever you do, I'm always behind it because it makes the world of choral music better. And if the world of choral music is better, then I am better. Well, that's the world I'm living in. So thank you so much for coming. And I know it's not the last time you're here.
Yeah.
It's your first time,
Yeah.
but it's not the last time you're going to be here. Sydney.
Thanks, Boo. Thanks for your time, my brother. Thank you so much. All the best. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching us. Until next time. Sharp, sharp.